GMAT challenge number 25. If the absolute value of y minus 1/2 is less than 11 over 2, which of the following could be a value of y? Feel free to pause this video and attempt the problem on your own. Now let's review my solution to this problem. I have two methods. First method is called PITA, plug in the answer choices. In order to do so, I'm going to create a table. This table has 3 columns. The first column will be the answer choices over here. And then the second column, I'm going to put expression y minus 0.5, absolute value. So basically I just put, let me color this part, the left hand side of this inequality as this column title, the absolute value of y minus 1/2. For easier calculation, I convert 1/2 to 0.5. Alright, so that's this column. And then the last column, I'm gonna put less than 11 over 2, which is simply 5.5. So I'm gonna convert 11 over 2 to 5.5, and then put a question mark over here as the last column. So the purpose of constructing this table, I think you probably know. Basically, I'm going to go through all these answer choices, plug in the value of y, and calculate what's the value of the absolute value of y minus 0.5, and then compare it to 5.5. If it's less than, I'm going to put a yes. If it's not less than, I'm going to put a no. And apparently, what we want is yes. And that would be our answer. So let's start with answer choice is A. Answer choice is A, y is negative 11. So let's plug in absolute value of negative 11 minus 0.5. This is equal to the absolute value of negative 11.5, which is 11.5. And now let's compare it to 5.5. Is this less than 5.5? Of course it's not. So this is not our answer. You can eliminate A. Answer choice is B, negative 11 over 2. That's the same as negative 5.5. So I'm going to use negative 5.5 and then minus 0.5 equals, so that's apparently negative 6. Absolute value of negative 6 is positive 6. Let's compare 6 to 5.5. Again, it's not less than 5.5, so we're going to put a no in the last column. That means B is also not going to be the answer. Answer choice is C, 11 over 2. That's simply 5.5. So we plug in 5.5 minus 0.5 absolute value equals absolute value of 5, which is 5. And compare it to 5.5. Yes, it is less than 5.5. So this is the correct answer. So we find our correct answer, which is C. If you're not convinced, you could keep going. But because GMAT is a timed test, I would recommend once you find out the answer, move on. But for demonstration purposes, let's check the other two answers. See if they are indeed incorrect. This one, D, is 11 minus 1/2, which is 0.5. Absolute value of 11 minus 0.5, which is the absolute value of 10.5, which is 10.5. 10.5 is not less than 5.5, so indeed it's incorrect. The last one, absolute value of 22 minus 0.5, which is equal to absolute value of 21.5, which is 21.5, and this is definitely not less than 5.5, so also not going to be the answer. There we have it. C is our answer. So this is method number 1, called PITA. It's in most cases guaranteed to get the answer, but sometimes it could take a while. Method number 2. Method number 2 is if you know how to solve this absolute value inequality. So the absolute value inequality, let's say absolute value of x less than A, the quantity A, then it's equivalent to say that negative a less than x less than positive a. So this is actually the formula, if you want to call it, to solve this absolute value inequality. Putting this into our question, what we're going to have here is absolute value for y minus 1/2 less than 11 over 2. Applying this formula, it's basically saying this expression y minus 1/2 is between negative 11 over 2 and positive 11 over 2. Alright, so this is how you get rid of the absolute value in this inequality. And then you're going to solve this inequality for y. So isolate variable y, that means you're going to add 1/2 to each part of this inequality. This is a compound inequality. We have 3 parts. So I'm going to add the same thing to each part, in this case 1/2. As a result, you will get over here negative 11 over 2 plus 1/2. This is negative 10 over 2. Less than, in the middle, just going to be y. And less than, this is 12 over 2. So it's the same as negative 5 less than y less than 6. So that's actually the solution to this inequality, meaning that y has to be between negative 5 and 6, exclusive, not including negative 5 or 6. And if you look at answer choices A, B, C, D, E, only C satisfy this range. So C, if you convert to decimals, it's 5.5. 5.5 is between negative 5 and 6. So that's if you know how to solve this inequality, and then you could find out the answer right away. Alright, that's it for today's challenge. I will see you next time. Bye bye.